In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about control of fluid power. Now, as we are discussing about pneumatic systems, we will discuss about control of pneumatic power. Now, as all of us have discussed earlier, that every hydraulic and pneumatic system has three parts. Any circuit can be divided in three parts. The first part comprise of the conversion elements. The second part comprise of the control elements, and the third part is reconversion of the energy takes place. What happens in conversion stage? In conversion stage, the mechanical energy, it is taken from the prime mover either by electric motor or IC engine. The mechanical energy gets converted into fluid energy or pressure energy. The pressure energy is imparted to the fluid in this phase, and after this, means in hydraulics, this part comprise of pump and other conditioning elements, while in pneumatics the conversion takes place by using compressor. So, compressor delivers the compressed air. After that, it enters into FRL unit, and after FRL unit, it is moved to the control section. Now, control elements are of three types. So, there are three types of controls. The first is direction control. The second is flow control, and the third is pressure control. Now, let us not talk about flow and pressure control because that will follow this lecture. Direction control, let us talk about direction control. Now, in control section, the power is controlled according to the application. Means what is the application, what does it need, accordingly the control elements are selected. So, what is the flow required, what is the pressure required, what is the direction of the flow required, accordingly the control elements are selected. From control elements, the fluid enters into the last stage, which is called as a reconversion of the energy. Reconversion means the hydraulic or pneumatic energy present is supplied to, this is called as actuator. Now, this actuator is a piston cylinder arrangement. The compressed air enters into the cylinder and the cylinder moves. So, the pressure energy gets converted into mechanical energy again. So, this is a reconversion of the pressure energy. Now, let us talk about direction control valves. Let me draw a simple diagram of, suppose this is the actuator. What will you do? Now, there is one line here, one line here, that is one port here, one port here. If the fluid enters through this port, the piston will move to the right side. If the fluid moves through this port, the piston will move towards the head end. Now, what will make the fluid to enter to this port or this port? That element which decides the fluid direction is called as direction control valve. It looks somewhat like this. I am drawing the symbol of it. Now, this is one of the types of DC valves. Now, suppose the direction control valve is placed like this. This valve has internal ports 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now, suppose this port is P, this port is P. P means pressurized fluid is coming at this port. This is R, that means it is the air is being released through this port. This is port A, suppose this is port B. Port A and B are consumer ports which are connected to the actuator. So, if it is connected to A and if it is connected to B, what will happen if P gets connected to A? Pressurized energy is present at P. When this P is connected to A, what will happen? The flow will flow to the head end of the piston. Piston will move to the right side. While moving to the right side, it will return some air and it will be at port B. So port B will be connected to R, and from here it will be released. So after actuating this position, P gets connected to A. Now what will happen? Now here is P, A and B, here P and R. If P gets if P gets connected to B, what will happen? P gets connected to B. So the flow will be to the right side of piston or rod end side of piston, and piston will retract. So P is connected to B, and at that instance A will be connected to R. That is, a return of air will be through this port and this will be released. Mind you, these are two positions of the valves, position 1 and position 2. In position 1, P is connected to A, therefore the piston moves to the right side. In position 2, P gets connected with B, therefore piston moves to the left side. Now let us try to understand this valve symbol. The symbol is drawn like this. Now first of all, the ports are shown like this. Ports means these are the openings in the valve. Now initially I am drawing the ports like this. This is port P, because compressed air will be coming at this port. This is port R, this is the release port. From this port the fluid will be releasing. This is port P again, this is port R. Now this valve has two positions, means here we have seen either P gets connected to A or P gets connected to B. So there are two positions of the valve. And how many ports are there? Ports are 1, 2, 3 and 4 ports. So this valve is called as a 4/2 valve, where 4 means number of ports and 2 is number of positions. So this valve has 4 ports, P, R, here A and B. A and B are called as consumer ports. These are connected to the actuator. Now the port connections are shown by arrowheads. Suppose in the first position P is connected with A, so at that instance B gets connected with R. In the second condition or second position, P gets connected with B and A gets connected with T. So these are the two positions. The internal connections are shown by arrowheads. The actuating position means what makes the valve to change the position, what mechanism is used to change the valve position is shown on one of the sides of the valve. This is push button operated valve. So this is the symbol of push button operated valve. Now suppose in the diagram this position is connected. This position is called as normal position. Normal position means when the circuit is switched off, nothing is working, no mechanical actuation, no solenoid actuation, nothing is working, then P is connected to A in the normal position. How to change the position from 1 to 2? Push the button, it will change to 2. When you release the button, the valve will again return back to its original or normal position by using a spring. So it is a 4 by 2, 2 envelopes, 2 boxes means 2 positions. Every position is shown by a box. So 4 by 2 button operated spring return direction control valve. So you can easily tell me what does it mean by 3/2 valve? This valve has 3 ports, 2 positions. What is 5/2 valve? This valve has 5 ports, 2 positions. We will discuss these types of valves in detail in the latter part of this lecture. Friends, as we have discussed some basics of direction control valve, let us try to understand the circuit working by using a simple animation. So let us draw a simple pneumatic circuit with single acting cylinder. So the compressed air will be allowed to enter into FRL unit. You can see the FRL unit symbol is drawn there. Dotted line indicates the filtration, the arrowhead indicates the regulation, and the small line elements. Small line indicates the lubrication. After that, it is a 3/2 direction control valve, and this is connected further to the actuator. So there are 3 stages. The first stage is from air compressor. The air is coming from FRL unit. It is entering into the direction control valve. The direction control valve has 3 ports, P, R and 1. So air from air compressor is coming to FRL unit, and after FRL unit it is going to port P. This valve is push button operated spring offset 3-way 2 position direction control valve. So in the normal position, port P is blocked and port 1 is connected to release port, and when you press the button, now the right side position is actuated. So the flow of fluid is from port 2, it is coming to port 1, and from port 1 it is being exhausted to atmosphere. Now if we actuate the button and actuate the another position, that is on the left side, let us push the button. You will see the port P gets connected to port 1. The port P gets connected with port 1 and 1 is connected to 2. So the air will be allowed to enter into the head end side of the piston, and pressure will act on that side, and the piston will move to the right side, and it is balanced by spring or supported by spring. So port R is blocked when so this is the working of single acting cylinder. Now let us move ahead with a pneumatic circuit to operate a double acting cylinder. Now the initial parts are same, that is air from compressor will be given to the FRL unit. Then the valve is somewhat different. It has got 4 ports, 2 positions, there is an actuator. Initially the air from compressor is taken to FRL unit, and FRL unit delivers the air to the direction control valve. It has got 4 ports, P, R, 1 and 2. So initially the port P is connected to port 2. So the fluid is allowed to flow to port 4. So the pressure will act on the rod end side of the piston, and the piston will move to the left side. From port 3 the fluid will return to 1, and from 1 it will be exhausted through port R. If you push the button and actuate the left side of the valve, then let us see what happens. When you push it, P gets connected to 1 and 1 is connected to 3. The air will be allowed to flow to the head end side of the piston, and piston will move to the right side. So this is how a direction control valve works. Directional control valves are used to stop, start, route and divert fluid streams without affecting the pressure level or the flow rate of the system. Directional control valves are identified by number of ways that fluid can flow and the number of positions the valve can produce. A way refers to the number of active porting connections called ports. This valve has 3 ports, so it is a 3-way valve. The term positions refer to the number of discrete operating positions of the internal valve element. For this spool valve, one position allows fluid to flow from the inlet port A, and the second position allows fluid to flow from the inlet port to port B. Therefore, this is a 2-position valve. This spool thou has 2 ports and 2 positions. The first position allows fluid to flow freely. The second position blocks both ports. Even though both ports aren't physically blocked, the lack of fluid entering the pressure port also prevents fluid from exiting outlet port A. Therefore, both ports are defined as blocked, making it a 2-way, 2-position valve to simplify fluid system drawings and schematics. All valves can be represented graphically. Boxes, sometimes called envelopes, are used to indicate the number of valve positions. Since this is a 2-position valve, its graphic representation has 2 adjacent boxes. Continuous lines are used to indicate fluid flow between ports. For complex valves, the ports may also be labeled. The input port is typically labeled P for pressure outlet. Ports are typically given alpha characters starting with A. The letter stands for destination of the fluid. For instance, the letter T would indicate a port that is connected to a tank. This is a fairly simple valve, so ports labels are not required. A solid arrow indicates the direction of liquid flow. The first position of this valve allows fluid to flow from the pressure port to port A. So an arrow is drawn to the first box to indicate fluid flow. A T indicates that a port or way is blocked or closed. This valve first position has no ports blocked, but its second position blocks both. The second box corresponds to the second position of the valve. Therefore, 2 T's are added to illustrate the lack of fluid flow in second position. Next lines are drawn to indicate the normal position of the valve. The normal position is defined as the position of the valve when its spool is unshifted and the power is off. This means that any mechanical actuators such as springs are in their non-actuated positions. Electrical actuators such as solenoids are powered off. The normal position can sometimes be referred to as the unshifted, de-energized or unactuated positions. In this case, position 1 is the normal position. Therefore, the lines to indicate the normal position are drawn in the first box on a hydraulic schematic. The lines that indicate the normal position will be connected to other devices in the system. Valves that do not have mechanical or electrical actuators do not have a normal position because they must be manually moved. When shifted, they remain in that state until manually shifted to another position. The terms normally operated and normally closed are used to describe the condition of a valve when it is in the normal position. For this valve, the normal position is position 1, which allows unrestricted fluid flow through the open ports. Therefore, this valve is normally opened. The valve, additionally, this valve is spring return valve, meaning that after it is actuated, a spring returns the spool to the normal position. A spring symbol is placed next to the block, representing the normal position. Actuators used to change valve positions can be mechanical, pneumatic, pilot, or electric solenoid. To complete the diagram, the primary actuator symbol is placed on other hand of the graphic symbol. In this case, the actuator is a push button. Mechanical actuators change valve positions with springs, push buttons, plungers, levers, and cam rollers. Pneumatic pilots change valve position with the pressure air signal electric solenoids that change valve position by directly moving the valve elements are called direct solenoids. The valve elements are called solenoid controlled pilot operators. Here is a similar valve to one previously shown. It has two ports and two positions. So it is also a two-way two-position valve. To illustrate the difference between this valve, let us build its graphic symbol. It is a two-position valve, so the graphic symbol will have two adjacent boxes. This valve also has two ports. However, in the normal non-actuated position, both ports are blocked. Therefore, it is normally closed valve. When the valve is actually actuated, fluid is allowed to flow from the pressure port to port A. A spring returns the valve to its normally closed position, and a push button actuates it to the open position. Therefore, this valve is a two-way, two-position, normally closed, spring return, push button operated valve, while it is similar to the previous example. The differences in the normal position makes it a distinctly different valve. The most important application in fluid power for three-way valves are for directional control. Here we have a typical three-way valve with two operating positions. This valve has an inlet port P, exhaust port E, and output port A at its normal position. Inlet port P is blocked and outlet port A is connected to exhaust port E. The second position allows fluid to flow from the pressure port P to outlet port A and blocks exhaust port E. The valve is also spring return and push button operated. Here is another three-way two-position valve. This valve has an inlet port P, exhaust port E, and output port A. But they are in a different configuration in its normal position. Exhaust port E is blocked and fluid flows from pressure port P to outlet port A. The second position, pressure port P is blocked and allows fluid to flow from outlet port A to exhaust port E. The valve is also spring return and push button operated. Three-way directional control valves have many applications in fluid systems. One of the most common applications is for the control of single acting cylinders. In this application, fluid is pumped from a tank to pressure port P with the valve in normal position. Fluid is blocked when the valve is actuated. Fluid flows from the pressure port P through outlet port A to the cylinder. The cylinder extends and remains extended until the valve changes positions. When the valve de-energizes, the spool returns to position 1. Pressure port P is blocked and exhaust port E is opened. The cylinder retracts and fluid flows from the cylinder through port A and out exhaust port E. From there, the fluid returns to the tank. Here is a graphical rendering of the same system using symbols as they would appear on a schematic diagram. 2- and 3-way control valves are ideal for use as directional control valves to operate cylinders or hydraulic rams, filling and draining tanks as mechanical brakes, and even in vacuum systems. Their versatility is vital to the successful operation of many different fluid systems.